Hello, everybody. My name is Manuel and I'm the channel manager for MobileIron. Today, Arthur Doctor is with me, our senior sales engineer. Today, we want to talk about zero sign-on, and I think this is a very, very important topic because it hits two very important points, especially for MobileIron. So yeah, today we want to talk about, first of all, of course, about passwords, right? Because we didn't need to invent or use zero sign-on if passwords were perfectly fine, right? So that's what we talk today. We talk about passwords and especially passwords results in data breaches. So of course, this number is not a new number, but it's a very big number, and I always like to show it. And this number is even from 2018. This probably go up in the last years. So right now we see that about 81% of passwords are at risk, right? So what does it mean at risk? It means the password is very easily guessed. It's very easily hacked via social engineering. For example, lots of people use their family names, old street address, old cats and dogs, stuff like that. Stuff that almost everybody puts also out on Facebook and somewhere else. So yeah, it's very easy today for a hacker to get social engineering to get to your password, right? So this is a very, very important point for us. Then we see there is a big risk here, and it's in something we have to use every day. So that's why we have that slide where it says organizations or enterprises are in a no-win situation, because 85% said, okay, of course, our business is in a kind of immediate threat, small or big, doesn't matter. But we see at least a threat. We had a threat, or we see one, and this is a number where you say, of course, everybody can feel it the way. But the next number, I think that's the most for me impressive number here, right? Because 32% admitted they have reduced the security just to make sure they can keep up with the user or with the user experience, right? So the user don't want to use that device anymore because it's way too locked down, and the user starts using his private phone, sends over his company data to his private Mac or to another device that he likes to use because it's not locked down all the way up. So then you have the next security risk, right? Then you have company data on private devices, which no company has control over. So yeah, this data is probably lost, right? So yes, when you reduce the security for your devices, it's very hard to make sure that your company data is still secure. And when we look about what an average costs, and this is also, of course, it's a number from a statistical website, but when we look at about $3.6 million from average data breach, right? Then yeah, of course, there's lots of work to do after the breach, and we have also lots of work to do to detect the breach and before the breaches, right? So there is lots of things that we can do as a company to make sure that this is not a number any of us have to pay, right? So, and then you see that number. It's also I think it was from 2019, and it was from Verizon as well, and it says spent on IT security was $120 billion, of course, last year. Yeah, that's crazy, because yet 2/3 of them still got breached, and you listen to the news and you hear everything, right? So yeah, there is always a problem with IT security. We work really hard to get it right. Every customer works hard, and they try to use the newest technologies to make sure their employees are safe, their data is safe. But yes, we see it every week in the news that some hackers got a hold of Twitter was the last one, and not it's not a surprise when you read the news about the Twitter hack from last week or from the week before. What was the cause for the data breach? It was a password again, right? It's always the password. Doesn't matter if it's Twitter or Sony 2 years ago. It's always the same. Passwords are very hard. Why? Because from their nature, they're not secure, right? You can always create a weak password, so this is not good. But also they are not user-friendly. You don't want to put it in always on your small keyboard, on your different platforms 5 times a day. This doesn't make any sense, right? So of course, there needs to be a more user-friendly way to do it. And the third point, and that's also a very important point when we talk about, for example, the last breach with Twitter, right? Because these passwords are not intelligent. What does it mean? A password does not know where it gets entered, right? And this is a problem as well, because when you think about someone steals your credentials and goes into an internet coffee shop or somewhere else and tries to log in with your credentials from some kind of machine, it will work, probably, right? Because yeah, he got your credentials. But when you can make sure that even if a hacker steals your credentials, but they are not able to log in with these credentials because they don't have the right device, they don't have the right app, or they are not in the right network, or stuff like this. This is intelligence for password, right? But this is our goal. This is why we want to go that way, right? Because of course we hear all the number. 86 say yes, of course we would do our way with passwords because they reduce the risk of breaches. But when you think about, no, we like zero sign-on many other different reasons right now, and you all know it. You're all using it right now. The same zero sign-on experience that we as a MobileIron employee can use for, I think, almost a year now. I'm not sure. But you are using it almost to the extent privately as well. And this is what we do right now, right? So we use MobileIron, we use Apple's and Google's technologies to go with our mobile devices a bit deeper, right? Because our mobile devices are more powerful than we are. So we see them everywhere. Yeah? We have them all around us. The biometrics, they are so good here that we can really rely on them, and we create with them amazing new experience. And this is exactly what my colleague Arthur will show you right now with a small demo where we show you how does a zero sign-on experience really work, right? Because this is, for us as MobileIron, it's really important to make sure that this is a user experience we really want to push. It's not only good for the user or for the experience, it's also very important for the security. And these are our both main points here that we like to push. So Arthur, let's take it away.
Great, thank you. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So my name is Arthur. I'm a senior sales engineer at MobileIron, and I want to show you today a demonstration. And imagine I'm a new employee of your company. And the first thing when I start my first day is to say hello, of course, to the new colleagues. And afterwards, I get my equipment from the IT. And here it is, yeah, it could be an iPad, it could be an iPhone, it could be a MacBook, a Windows 10. It could be everything. We are working on every devices with the same zero password experience. So here I have a new iPad. I want to enroll the new iPad with my credentials I got from the IT. So I already downloaded the MobileIron Go application. So this is our agent on the devices. With this, you can register your user. So I got the credentials. I put them here in.
And just in case you guys are wondering, this is exactly why we want to start here at the beginning, because we really like that experience, right? We use it all day, every day, but this is a very nice experience. So yeah, this is something we want to show you here.
Right. So the thing is, we have to download the profile that we get from the MDM server. Great. So now we have to install it. This is an Apple mechanism, so this is nothing to do with us. So it's a little bit, sneaky, but the user is getting a guide, so a wizard here. So the only thing that he can say is install or cancel, and I hope every one of your users can do this on his own. After it is installed, we can go back to our MobileIron application, and we see, oh, sorry. It is checked in, so everything works. Now we get applications pushed from our MDM server that are pre-configured also from the MDM server, so the user has no interaction. If this device would be an Apple supervised device, so means it is provisioned by your company, it has more rights, so you have more rights, so you can also install this application silently and don't have this pop-up messages here. So what this pop-up message tells you, it wants to install some applications. So the MobileIron tunnel application, it is used for the zero sign-on experience. So we have to install them. And also we want to use Salesforce afterwards. We installed it also, and Microsoft Outlook. Yeah, this could take a moment because these are really big applications normally. My internet is not so fast at this time. Don't blame Telecom for this, sorry.
Well, I think it's very important to note here that we're doing this in real time, right? Because we really love doing these kind of demos because this is not a video, this is not a clip that we cut here, right? This is the original way how you enroll a device, and it's so easy and it's so frictionless that for us at MobileIron, we love it that way, right? So this is why we love to present, especially the zero sign-on experience, because as soon as you start using this, you absolutely see, okay, this is how enterprise authentication should work, right? You should not type in your password every some hours to get a new small information habit.
Right, Manuel, that's the thing. So imagine again, I'm a new employee from your company and I want to work, and after 5 minutes my iPad is enrolled and I can really work. I don't need any credentials right now. That's all. I go to Salesforce. The first time setup takes a moment, but here we have some Euler from Salesforce. We have to accept it. This takes a moment because it has to check with Salesforce if your account is really there. And in the meantime, our zero sign-on experience, our access server checks some things, and this are some parameters. What Manuel said already, is this iPad managed? Yes, it is. So we installed the profile. Is this application valid? Yes, it is, because it's a managed application. We pushed it to the iPad, so it's allowed. And then we have the user. Is the user allowed to use this application and to use this cloud service? Yes, it is. So if everything of these parameters are green, we get the authorization. And now we see the Salesforce is ready. So we are logged in. You see here, we are logged in, no password, nothing. And that's for every time.
And this is not just for the Salesforce, this is for every application your company uses for SAML, every application that uses in the backend the SAML authentication or WSFED, right? So these are industrial standards, right? So we really want to push it a product in that direction. This is why we personally love it so much, because it makes our daily workflow even better. For me personally, it's one of the best products we released for a long time. Why? Because every time we're really working from our phones, right? But we are switching as well, right? From Salesforce to Outlook to Teams. We're using Zoom. We're using all the different kind of platform that we can reach our customers, right? It's very easy. I don't have to put in any process anymore. I just download apps that I use and I click in and I'm already signed in with my company. As soon as my company has accepted for it or made a configuration for that kind of application, I'm good to go. And I think that's kind of the user experience everybody wants to have, of course, right? This is kind of like the Apple magic thing, right? You just push the application you're in. And after you can go out and can go to the next step and will work as well, right? And this is one thing where we as MobileIron think that this is something very important for our users, but also, yeah, and that's the very important point here, also for the IT and the security. When there is no password entered in, there is no chance to steal that password. You can build now not a password that's called your dog's name and the last 3 digits from your son or someone else. No, right now you can build passwords that are really strong, really hard to guess, and you don't have to worry about tipping in every 5 minutes or every day, right? This is a really nice use case here.
Yeah, and what Manuel said, so we have a lot of cloud services. We started our cloud experience, I think, 4 years ago. So it was cloud first for us. We had this internal name for this or topic, and but still we have internal services that are not cloud services. Still we have them, and I think you also have them, because not everything is now right now on the cloud. But this our feature is also working for internal services. Every service that speaks SAML and WS-FET can be federated and can be used with the zero sign-on experience. So it's not only cloud services.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Arthur, I think you got something else to show, or should I switch over?
I can show also the Outlook experience, because it's the same. Imagine I want to go to my emails. My account is pre-configured. First day, my account is pre-configured. Here it is, my account. It got the information from your LDAP service or your Azure AD. It's for us it is okay. We work with everything there, but we somehow need an email variable. Then we put it here. We say, okay, we want to add this account. That's the only thing that the user has to do, add the account. And this is the experience from Outlook, not from us, because if we are developing this application, we would say no interaction for the user. But again, the account is added, and we can go to our emails, and yeah, we can send our first email to the CIO or to our first customer. Great. And one thing more, imagine there is an application for the user that he has to use. So so we don't use Teams from our mobile phones or from our iPads. So it is restricted per our IT policy. So if I want to use Teams now with demo 01, it's working. For this user, it's working. But if I want to add here a new user, like my user from my company, this is my email address. You can
the real user. Okay, yeah.
So this is my real user, my MobileIron user account. So this is also my MobileIron email address. If you want, you can send me an email. So I add here my email address, and what our zero sign-on experience is checking is, again, the device, the application, and the user, but it blocks the application. So because
he doesn't have to enter a password for that, right? He just puts in his email address, everything gets checked. It's not like he needs to put everything in, and then, oh, sorry. No, and then here you can have an own remediation page that says, this application has been blocked as per your company policy. Please contact your administrator. So you can, as a customer, create this page completely freely. So you can even put in links where you say, hey, go to that link, download that application, right? Stuff like that. So you can really help your customers with that, and your users especially.
Yeah, that's also one thing from Apple, self-helping. And imagine then you don't have this much tickets. If it is clear here, the user knows what he has to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's not just an error message where someone says, why can I not? And of course, he calls help desk and starts asking all this question. No, he absolutely see what's happening right here, and then he can move on or contact his administrator. So that's the easy part here. But as you can see, that's a complete solution from our side, right? We want to make sure that we can use a device-specific identification mechanism, right? So every device has some special biometric or stuff like that, and we want to use that. We use that. There is no special client or stuff like that from our side. The same biometrics you use to log into your Apple ID or to log into your Google account, it's the same biometrics you use to entering your enterprise. And at the time or right now, we see that, oh, there's also a question for that, especially as here, the device is stolen, the only thing that keeps your data safe. Okay, so yeah, we will, let's take the questions afterwards. I think I want to show you guys just the last part where I can.
Okay, I will cancel the sharing option. Thank you, Manuel.
Perfect. So let's talk about our product, MobileIron Access, what we talked about right now, to make sure we deliver zero sign-on. And afterwards, we will gladly go into your question. So let's talk about the product MobileIron Access. With MobileIron Access, we deliver you a zero sign-on experience as shown right now. We use the biometrics from your secure mobile devices to make sure that we can deliver a passwordless user experience across your company, right? Then, of course, we have MFA in it, right? So when I want to log in here to my private PC here at home, I just open up Salesforce, mobileiron.salesforce.com, and it doesn't even prompt me to enter my password. It says, here's a QR code, scan with your MobileIron app and identify yourself with Face ID. When I do that, I'm totally logged in and securely logged in. No way for someone to steal my credentials, right? Zero trust policy engine. As mentioned, we have a policy engine where you as a customer can decide which application can be used, which user, which device, in which location, all the different kind of conditional access stuff that we have here, you can use to make sure that your devices are safe. You can make sure that, and that's very, very nice thing. You can even go so far that you can lock down all access only to this single one device, right? So only this single one device can access your accounts. So that means as long as you got the device, you can even route your credentials outside of the window. Doesn't matter. As long as nobody has your device, they cannot log in with these credentials. This is security. And this is especially security that's not targeted to, yes, we are totally secure, no, that's zero trust security. This is exactly what we are telling you the last 6 months, zero trust security. You cannot think or believe that the intruder will not get into your network. You have to think about what if he is already in? What can we do to make sure that he doesn't get anything, even if a device from us gets hacked, even if some credentials from us get stolen, doesn't matter. The hacker cannot access anything with them. This is zero trust. So our zero trust policy engine really works here really well. And of course, a reporting database is also included to make sure that you can see who's accessing which data on which application. And as we mentioned before, it's standard based and of course works on any device, doesn't matter, iOS, Windows 10, Mac OS, we have it for everything. So this is our product portfolio. As you probably know or heard, we have MobileIron UEM. This is our foundation, right? Our foundation to manage and secure our devices in our company. Yeah? We have with MobileIron UEM, you have the capability to deliver all the configurations, all the applications, everything you need to make sure your devices are managed and safely distributed to all your employees, right? And then we have our two products, our add-ons. We can add MobileIron Threat Defense, a second security layer, an additional security layer where we really go even further with the security on mobile devices, because we have some customers that are very security concerned. And we also see in the news lately that mobile devices gets hacked. And not just the last 6 months, no, it's the last 2-5 years. We see every month, every time something gets hacked on a mobile device. And of course, we cannot stop using these mobile devices. They're way too important for us. It's the same with the desktop PC. We didn't stop using them because someone tries to hack them. We built real security in it so the hacker can do nothing and I still can work. So this is why we had threat defense. We have a second security layer to make sure that you can even solve the highest security problems that you need. And third, MobileIron Access. With MobileIron Access, we deliver a second or a additional authentication layer. This authentication layer delivers you, of course, MFA, zero sign-on, but also conditional access, right? And as we showed you in the last 25 minutes, with access, you can deliver user experience like zero sign-on and really strengthen your security from your company. And this is exactly what we as MobileIron, what we stand for, right? We want to make sure that these 2 points, security and user experience, are the highest goods that we are, right? We want to have a good security. We need to have a good security. If we don't have a good security in the today's market or in the today's era, this would be not good, right? We hear lots of hacking accidents all the time. So this is why we need to make sure that security is always on our mind, but we cannot let the user experience be downgraded because of it, right? So this is why we as MobileIron really like to give you guys today these 2 points about MobileIron Access. We deliver better security and we will deliver a frictionless user experience. And we showed you guys today everything we had for zero sign-on, right? And of course, there were lots of small use cases we can show you, but I would like to go that way, that you guys, if you want to know more about zero sign-on, if you want to test it, we can deliver you it in a small POC together with our partners. Totally no problem. So we would love for you guys, if you want to know more, please contact us or Nomasis, of course. Our colleagues at Nomasis, they are always here to help you, and they're happy to show you how zero sign-on would work in your company environment and how you can make sure that your users and your data gets more secure. I think that's it from my side. Arto, if you want us something add here, because I really had nothing, but if you like to add something, feel free.
No, you're good in time, so you're on point, and I think we should answer the questions.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes. Thank you very much to both of you for giving us an overview. I have the following questions for you, which came through the chat. So someone asks, so you trust the authentication Face ID fingerprint from Apple I mean, if the device is stolen, the only thing that keeps your data safe is the Apple device lock, right?
Yes, exactly. And this is as we saw in the news lately. That's a good device lock, right? Even the FBI is not coming into the Apple devices when they don't have the passcode, right? So yeah, this is the highest point at security level on the device level that we can use right now. Maybe there are some opportunities in the futures to even make something more secure or more better, but right now we use that. And as we see and as we saw and see, so the mobile devices, the biometrics on that are quite good, right? So we don't see any kind of breaches about that, but what we are seeing is lots of breaches with standard password uses. So that's why we wanted to go with a biometric option. You always can, of course, when you want to go only with a single sign-on with MobileIron, right? So you use one password to log into your credentials. This is also possible, right? But this what we showed you right now, for us, the best user experience and the best security.
And something to add here. So after you know that the device is stolen, you can mark the device, the MobileIron, that is stolen, and everything that is related to your data and related to your authentication methods are gone away from the device. So this is something that you can do with one click and say, okay, the device is stolen, or the device should be get in quarantine.
Absolutely, yeah. That's really a one-click situation, and of course, there's always the possibility for you guys to remote wipe your devices or stuff like that via MobileIron. Yeah. Any other questions?
I received no further questions through the chat. So if there are no questions directly now, we will end this webinar at this point. For further questions on this topic, as already mentioned, please contact us at any time. And thank you all for joining, and have a nice day.